Greetings wherever you are situated in the universe. My name is Kaia Shivers. Welcome to Arc Republic's The Remedy. Now, The Remedy is a podcast that is dedicated to talking about solutions rather than focusing on the problems. And we have none other than what we call Arc Republic's resident spiritualist, Baba A. Todd Jackson. Shay Lafiani, what it do? What's going on, Baba Todd?
Peace, Alafia, what's happening?
A lot. A lot is definitely happening.
We got the cure, we got the answer to what's happening in society. We got the power to solutions and provide the healing that you need. We got the cure, we got the answer with discussions that will set you free. This is the Arc Republic, and you're listening to The Remedy. The Remedy, The Remedy.
Today is Father's Day, and you are a father. Happy Father's Day.
Thank you, ma'am.
So what are you going to be doing for Father's Day? Have anything planned?
I don't have anything planned, but I don't know about the people in my house, what they got planned for me.
Okay.
So I would prefer to just do nothing, but you know.
What is it like being a Black father in these day and times?
Wow. My son, I guess with my son, it was a little bit different raising him than my daughter. I had to tell him about the things to be mindful of, like when he got his first car, when he started driving, that I realized I didn't do with my daughter, but not to impose fear or put fear in there. Just telling them who they are, where we reside, the history of this country, the history of our people. I think that was one of the things that I used to help me in my parenting with my children.
When your wife told you you were becoming a father, what was that like?
Initially, I was happy. Well, I was happy. For the fact that I was getting ready to have a child. I didn't know it was a boy or girl. And then I started thinking about, okay, I gotta prepare for the future. So, I went through a gamut of emotions. I was excited, happy as can be. And then I like, okay, got a little serious energy there. Am I prepared to give this new spirit, this new soul, this new person, the life that I really want them to have, And a lot of us start thinking about, am I financially secure, ready to have a child? But, those kind of things, you'll never be ready. So, yeah, it was more about I was happy, and I was just not that afraid or fear anything, just more focused on what can I do to prepare them and give them the best life, going into adulthood.
So you had questions in the process. Still have questions, right? These things never end. Who do you go to seek counsel?
I go to, well, let's put it like this. I go within. There's meditation, a process that I do. I'm a firm believer in meditation, sitting. There's modalities that I use that normal people probably wouldn't use. But I'll say this with that question, Kaia. The biggest thing people want is they just want to know. And I've been fortunate enough to still have a connection with my ancestral energy. Ancestors still speak to me. However you want to say, God, the universe. I'm in tune, aligned with who I am. So when I hear instructions, I know the voice and I can move forward. So that's what I'm finding with a lot of people. When you talk about that shop, crystals, the Western form of Christianity, and that's a whole nother conversation, what we were doing before we encountered colonization, before we encountered the European. I think that's what we're finding with our young people. Some of this stuff they feel is not working for them because they have a lot of questions, and people just want answers. They want to know. They want some clarity on who they are and what they need to do to move forward, move forward in life.
And last question on fatherhood. This is very fascinating. So in your understandings, as you are going through this role, where are you in understanding what role does the father play in either the family unit or the community unit?
That male presence is so much needed. You can be there and not actually saying anything, but your presence of just being there. Mm-hmm. You know, when we look at how our people taught in nature, they always taught a duality, a male and a female. Just in some cases, what I found with my children, just my presence, just me being there. And you know, my marriage, my wife does all the talking, but she would always say, well, you know, you go check with your daddy. So I think more so with my children, my family, my community, people I interact with, it's just the mere presence of being there. Because when they see you there, it brings about a sense of comfort. Somebody got my back, you know, somebody gonna be there to protect me, you know. And I think just your presence alone, everybody else probably have a different story, but that's what I found in my life. My presence of just being there has really been the thing to help.
Tell me about a story of love around your dad.
Around my dad, okay. You know, my dad was not a man that did a lot of talking. And he would always give instruction to me in some of the strangest moments. We would be cutting grass and he'd say, now, I don't want you to go over and do such and such, because you know what the cause of that. And then he'd go about his business. I'm saying, what was that? What brought that on? You know? And so, but he told me about situations he didn't want me to do or be caught up in. I never forget I was 12 years old. I don't want to go into too much on tape. He told me what not to do when I got older and dealing with young women and that type of thing. And when I got to college, a situation arose, and all I could remember was hearing the voice of my dad. And that kept us out of a bad situation. So, I'm gonna leave that right there. So, you know, it was just, it's the instruction from that male energy, from that father. Some of us wasn't raised with fathers, but it was an uncle there. It was an Uncle Johnny there. It's just the mere presence of that masculine energy, that male energy that gives you instruction. Now my mama can give instructions too, but it's something about that father giving instructions to that male child.
Yeah, that's sweet.
Thank you so much for tuning in to Arc Republic. If you like what you see and you like what you hear, you can actually keep this mothership going. How? You can make a tax-deductible donation in several ways. One, Cash App us at Arc Republic Media. And you can also go on our website, arcrepublic.com/donate. As well, you can also donate to our fiscal sponsor and our sister organization at Black Farmers Index, that is Cash App, or also go onto their website, blackfarmersindex.com. We are two Black women-owned media organizations who share our profits so folk can thrive.
You know, there was a statistic that came out that talked about there was an overwhelming majority of single Black homes that were woman-led, but new data has come out and said that Black fathers are actually more active. They're the most active fathers out of any racial demographic, which disputes the numbers to some degree. In your collective of Black fathers, what are the conversations that are going on right now?
Well, you know, just how, you know, being able to try to take care of your family, you know, the best way you can. With the economy the way it is, trying to have something to be able to sustain yourself and your family. So that's the number one thing that I find among, most brothers is they want to be able to take care of their family. Like you say, in spite of the myths, in spite of the stereotypes, in spite of the news that's put out there that Black fathers ain't worth a dog, ain't worth a dime. I've seen some good brothers out there trying to take care of their family And I run across a lot of single Black fathers, which is surprising to me. And so, yeah, they're towing the rope.
Yeah, I think those numbers actually are really increasing, too. And in terms of, fathers staying at home more, or, being more of the parent that does a lot of the things that traditionally, women or mothers in this society have been socialized to do as well. But we also see an increase as well of intimate partner violence. Have you noticed that? Like like, men killing women, like, and a lot of Black men. Now, of course, we know how the news reports things, but I've been seeing a lot of that. What's your read on that?
Well, to me, when I see things like that, I see a lot of unresolved trauma that hasn't really been taken care of and there's a lot of factors. There's the economy. People don't have jobs, or jobs are not really sufficient enough to give them that quality of life. And so, a lot of times there's an equation. 2 broke people equal domestic violence. So the economy really has a lot to do with whether you want to believe it or not. Money, as they say, money talk, the other stuff walk. So the economy is so critical.
Right, but what brings somebody to be violent towards someone because they don't have money? We have been broke. We maybe we've continuously been broke.
I think the bottom line with that is some type of trauma, some type of unresolved issues within an individual, something that may be, when we start looking at our spirituality, we have to always look generational. What is that thing that came down from your grandfather, your father, or your relationship with your mother that you didn't take care of? And now you find yourself with a wife, you find yourself with a daughter, and that same act or scene is playing out in your dealing, how your mother dealt with you. Now, some type of way you're dealing with your wife, or your girlfriend, your fiance, and in some cases your daughter. So, it's a lot of it has to do, I believe, with some unresolved trauma that hasn't been dealt with, to make you want to put your hands on somebody, to put your hand on your woman.
When we had these conversations in the pandemic, we talked about the shift in the universe that has happened, and had conversations. Maybe it was in the pre-show or the after show, about how, depending on who you are and the type of sensitivities that you might have, or how you're wired, maybe be the best way to put it, your movements might change or may need some recalibration. How does this play into just not domestic violence, but the world that we see today? It seems like there's an uptick of acts of aggression and abnormal or very destructive behaviors.
Yeah, COVID was something. It was a paradigm shift. It was a shift to me in the conscious, the spirit, the soul of people, that a lot of people didn't know how to deal with, didn't know how to handle. All people, Black, white, whoever. And so in not knowing how to handle or move forward, then, you get aggression, you get abnormal behavior. And to me, in our community, the thing that I noticed most of all was an ancestral energy calling forth to help correct the situation. I had more people than I've ever seen would say, hey man, I had a dream about my grandma. I had a dream about my grandfather. And when you start to look at that, all those ancestral dreams, to me, that's ancestral energy reaching out to help us deal with this situation, to correct this situation. Most of us alive we never went through a COVID. And I know we talk about it like it's a long time ago, but that's just the other day, just 2 years ago. And so that was a type of trauma. That was a mental trauma, a mental frustration, a mental low yoke upon people. And so a lot of folks don't know how to handle it. And they revert to some type of aggression.
Right. And there also was a spiritual shift. If you believe in that, right? You had a lot of people abandoning Western religions, or at the very least seeking and searching for something different that could provide answers that their current religious practices could not, or whatever they were raised with. So in addition to these difficulties psychologically that people were having, that were going on, and I was actually at a crystal shop, and I asked the clerk, I said, what has been the foot traffic? And he said, since the pandemic, a lot of people have come in, people you wouldn't think would come in, who are seeking and searching for answers, because this is not it. Whatever this is not it. I hope your Father's Day is really good, and it is illuminated. And wishing you a great day.
Appreciate it. Thank you, ma'am.